my first game, I roped into playing like a pre-season game for the women's freeze at my local club, and I did like a Cruyff turn and then like kicked it out, and I came off and everyone was a bit like, yeah, you don't do that. When you're young and you don't really know what you're doing, just ended up just diving at people's feet and yeah, just enjoying it basically from the start.
The thing that struck me with that young man was his attitude. He was quiet, he was strong, he wanted to learn.
Looking back now, you kind of then realise that actually that was a really good day. Kind of came in, started training with the seniors, and that's when it kind of dawned on me like actually I could do this, because in my mind I was always quite far off it. And then George just being like, look, just relax, it's just another game, you're fine. Like there's a reason why you've got here, which was just exactly what I needed to hear. Opened the email and then was just pretty overwhelmed, to be honest. I just didn't think I'd be good enough to get to an Olympics, to be fair.
Continuing quietly as he's doing now, and he'll become one of the best goalies in the world.
I'm Ollie Payne and this is my journey. Kind of the first time you put on the kit and stuff and it all like not fitting and being too big, you kind of like falling over and that springs to mind. And my first game, I think, roped into playing like a pre-season game for the women's freeze at my local club. And remember, yeah, just playing for them and obviously standing out because I was a boy. But yeah, it was a pretty awkward first experience actually. I think the ball came to me for some reason at my feet, and I'd just come from playing football, and I was getting like closed down, and I did like a Cruyff turn and then like kicked it out, and I came off and everyone was a bit like, yeah, you don't do that in hockey. So I was big into my football from when I could walk basically. Played for Exeter until until like year 7, so like 12 or 13, and then and then just quit football altogether, and then had a couple years of rugby, and then in those 2 years started playing hockey as well. So yeah, that's kind of how I got into it. So it was kind of just give hockey a go and try new sports basically. From the start I loved it, because of like just getting in the kit. I just found it just fun. You could kick the ball, you could just get in the way, and when you're young and you don't really know what you're doing, just ended up just diving at people's feet and yeah, just enjoying it basically from the start. The first club I was at was like a really family friendly, sociable club, and absolutely loved it, and got like properly stuck in with the men's side that I was playing for. And then joining Exeter Uni as like a schoolboy was brilliant to kind of see how like lads are just playing with their best mates. Macca, or Chris McKinboy at Exeter Uni, kind of like really giving me a shot. As a 15-year-old kid, like signing on for a uni side and like him sticking his neck out for me, yeah, it was really important and like vital for me actually getting better in those 3 years. I think those 3 years is where I've improved probably the quickest.
I think he was 15 when I first met him, and was not even allowed, even had I wanted to pick him for the National League. I think you've got to be 16. So he arrived, and the thing that struck me with that young man was his attitude. He was quiet, he was strong, he wanted to learn. He wasn't interested in the flashy things or interested in what team he'd play in, or he just wanted to learn. And that caught my attention. And so I said to his parents if they were prepared to back me and my judgment, he could join us. He joined us. In his first year, at every practice, he practiced with the first team without question. But so to developing his skills, he was being surrounded by very, very good players of Premier level.
I was turning up to training always nervous, very much out of my depth as well. So I just remember as I started getting better and better, one of the first team players just came down, and just every week we just have competitions, like betting on Mars bars basically, like how many he's going to score, how many I'm going to save, and that's just basically how I learned. People just like hitting it and me being out of my depth really.
He responded. He just has a remarkable attitude, a very quiet, mature attitude, and without question, he had goalkeeping ability. What differentiated him was this: he was cool. He was very seldom flustered. A very interesting guy.
I remember when own goals were around. Scored a couple of those, which always stands out. And I remember my National League debut. I was awful, like really bad. I was just a sieve basically. There was just letting a couple corners basically just straight down the middle. I don't think I saved the ball all day. I mean, I conceded 4 or 5. Yeah, it was not a good day at the office.
It wasn't a setback. Before I knew you even said that to me, I had said to you, I called him in and said, he's goalkeeper. 1 performance, 2 performance, 3 performances don't make or break a goalkeeper. And to me, I actually had a smile on my face because it was good for him. You know, it's all part of the learning curve. He learned so much, so quickly, but in a controlled environment. You know, he also served his time. You know, he could easily have said to me, gee, I'm not even in the second team. Why aren't I doing this? He never, ever queried or questioned anything, and you know, he just jumped in.
I think it was about 4 years ago, maybe a little bit longer, maybe 5 years ago. I was playing second team at Durham. So for my first year, I played probably 3/4 of the season in the second team. So it wasn't all plain sailing, but that was a good learning experience. It was also like, it was still a fun year, playing for the twos, so some great lads in the twos, and we enjoyed ourselves. And then my second year of uni, dislocated my shoulder, so I was then out for 4 months. I came in at the same time as I came in the first year, so around the quarter-final time. So basically in my first 2 years of uni, only really played 6 box games, like quarter-final, semi-final and final. So yeah, it wasn't all good, but you know, I definitely used those experiences and still enjoyed it and still had a great 3 years and made the most out of it. That first year for the second team was great fun, being part of like a really sociable group of lads.
The easy way, he was an established Premier League goalkeeper. The easy way was just to stay at Exeter. But that never, I don't think it crossed his mind. It would have crossed his mind naturally because you're there. But I don't think he would ever seriously, he needed to move. And when he needed to do something, he did it. And so, yeah, he took a chance going to Durham. And in the beginning, it wasn't easy because, you know, I've had a number of people who I had to talk about Ollie to who said, oh, you know, I'm not sure how many people thought he was exceptional or anything. So you are taking a chance when you go into unknown territory. He did it typical. That's absolutely typical of if you've got the deep down confidence and desire to get to the top, then you got to get over these hurdles, not go around them.
A bit of a blur that whole day. It was a good day, a very good day. I remember being super nervous. Obviously, it was, I think, the first final I've played in, because did the Sultan of Johor that year but didn't play in the final. So the first final I've played in, and yeah, so super nervous. And I just remember like the atmosphere was just 1,000, 2,000 like drunk uni students was just ridiculous on the side, and the following from Durham was quite big as well, so we definitely had the crowd on our side. And yeah, and then you just play and some days it goes well for you. Looking back now, you kind of then realise that actually that was a really good day. But at the time, I still, when you have good days, you still think I should be doing that every game. So I had that. I remember that shot. I think the camera has made it look so much better than it was. I'm not gonna lie. I think those highlight reels made me look a lot better than it was. I think I remember at the time thinking, why have I done? I thought it was going over, but the camera, I think it was probably sneaking in. But at the time, I was like, I shouldn't have done that. It was just definitely going over. But yeah, no, it was. Good day, and yeah, good day at the office, I guess. Yeah, so I've done the whole system. So from under 16, played for England, and then did under 18s a year early, under 18s again, and then into the 21s. Yeah, that first year of 16s was always, everything was like really nerve-wracking, a massive deal, and really exciting because everything was new. And kind of that first taste of like international hockey, and yeah, just super exciting. Don't remember too much of it, to be honest. I think I was okay, did my job, but I don't think I was anywhere near where I probably should have been, or I was just on a different journey at that point, I guess. But yeah, just super exciting and super nervous for that whole year. I think there was a bit of a turning point when I came back from an injury quite late, so in my second to third year of uni, and kind of with things not going right at uni and in those 21s, after winning that, so my second start on a Joe Hall, winning that first one, and like doing all right, kind of having a few serious conversations with people and being like, actually, are you going to take this seriously? Because like it then kind of came in and started training with the seniors, and that's when it kind of dawned on me, like, actually I could do this, because in my mind I was always quite far off it, just because probably where I was at. But yeah, and then so coming in, starting training in my second year of uni, I think that was the turning point, where I kind of just started taking myself a bit more seriously and taking my hockey a bit seriouser. So that tournament's brilliant. You play in a different climate, and you're playing against like non-European sides, and that's the first time I've played against countries that are outside of Europe, and playing in front of a big crowd. Everything's really new. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. So fun, and I've probably enjoyed it more because we've done well in those tournaments as well. So got good memories of playing out there. I think the first time we won it, because of, well, both times we won it, we had to rely on other results to get into the final. But the first time we won it, there was a bit of a, like, I think Japan lost, and Japan were really strong that year. So them losing kind of like did us a favour. So it was kind of a bit of we got nothing to lose here, because we shouldn't have like been in the final really. And then, so that one always stands out, because we had a young side as well. Yeah, and the first time you win it, it's always pretty amazing. Just so up down. That final goal, well, is a weird one, because as a keeper, with like 2 minutes to go and you're drawing, you start preparing for like shuffles. So it was a bit of, when we scored with 20 seconds to go, it was almost a bit of like a relief, and it was a bit of like, oh, okay, I don't actually have to worry about shuffles now. So yeah, it was that was kind of like my feelings, but obviously just super happy. Yeah, it's just a lot of energy, a lot of people doing stupid stuff really. We played, what always stands out out in Malaysia is we always have like a volleyball tournament, and so we're always in the same two teams forever that whole week, and then have this volleyball tournament. It's always just chaos, absolute chaos, and way more competitive than it should be. And I remember one of the tournaments was like, we had the volleyball final before our final, being so nervous for this volleyball final, and like some of the lads just like, I haven't even thought about the hockey, and it's in like 3 hours time, just because we're just so prepared for this volleyball tournament. So that's always what will stand out, I think, from those tours. I think that was probably my favourite tournament looking back. I think because of the lead up to that, we didn't have great results. No one really, no other teams I don't think rated us, to be honest. So actually getting some results out there and getting to the final probably shocked some people. It didn't really shock us because we backed ourselves, but yeah, that was so fun. And it was like a major tournament as well. So yeah, that was so good. I personally was a bit disappointed. I wasn't happy with how I played in the final, so I kind of overshadowed it a little bit, but it was a bit of a win-win because of it was like you say the first time, and we were just to get to the final we're so happy. So it was a bit of we've got nothing to lose here. So when we did lose, it was actually we've still done unbelievably well to get here. And it was disappointing losing the final. I was annoyed because I didn't play well enough, but still, kind of on reflection, we still managed to enjoy that tournament. I think, especially with those 3 years of 21s, when you're competing and beating the other nations, as those ages get up, we've got to then have that belief that we can definitely do something special. I mean, you just have to look at Zach. The last few games, just been unbelievable, and he's 21 years old. So it's very, very exciting. Yeah, I just tried to enjoy it as much as I could. Took it for what it was. Came into the training and just super nervous. It literally just felt like a game. You get the butterflies and stuff, and just tried to take my opportunity, but also enjoy it. Started to knew a few of the younger lads, but didn't know many because I was still up in Durham when I started training. So yeah, it was just exciting basically. Yeah, they've both been absolutely brilliant. Help giving me support when I've needed it, kind of testing me when I've needed it, but also just let me find my feet myself, which is also important. And then I think especially when I first came in, just asking them so many questions, I was probably getting on their nerves so much. But yeah, they've both got so many caps between them, and yeah, both great guys. So kind of learning from them has been so useful and influential, really. I didn't, because it was obviously during COVID. I kind of didn't really, it was all a bit up in the air with if it was going ahead, what it was going to be like. So I didn't really, and I didn't know if I was going to get picked. So yeah, when I found out, I was buzzing. And then you just start thinking so much about the games, and you just want to get that first touch basically out of the way. And I think I nearly messed up that first touch, but I think it went all right after that. So yeah, I was just, like you said, it was pretty daunting, but it was just so exciting, and you got so many nerves and so much adrenaline that you just kind of don't really think too much about it. And then when you're playing, that's the easy bit really. You just kind of think about the ball and that's it. I remember the training session before on the pitch, and it was a quick pitch, and thinking Blimey, it's gonna be quick tomorrow. And then George just being like, look, just relax. It's just another game. You're fine. There's a reason why you've got here, which was just exactly what I needed to hear, basically. And then, yeah, running out was pretty cool. I remember just coming out and being like, yeah, this is what I want to be doing. And then other than that, I don't really remember too much, to be honest. I was so nervous. But we just played the 2 games before. So we just played Germany, and I played both of them. Didn't know what to think while I was playing both of them, and didn't really know if I played well enough, really. And then so came home, and then chilled out basically that evening, Thursday evening, and then I drove home Friday morning, and it takes about 4 hours to get home. So I left basically to arrive when the email came. So I arrived home about 10 minutes before the email came. Saw my mum, kind of then left and was then on my own. Opened the email and then was just pretty overwhelmed, to be honest. I was quite surprised and super happy. And it was nice having my mum there. She was pretty emotional and really excited. My parents obviously stand out straight away. I think the hours that they've probably sat on the side of the pitch or driving me places have been mental, and they're always there for me, always in a supportive way as well, as parents are.
I would like to compliment his parents, because I think their role cannot be underestimated. As a parent, and I have a son who's played international hockey, you want to do everything you can for your son and or daughter, and to hand over, as they were prepared to do, his future for a few years. I never had a query from them. I never had a problem. I never had anything but quiet support for him, which again is very unique. And that package, he just thrived. He just thrived.
I remember kind of watching like Olympics and being like, that's cool. And I just never thought I just didn't think I'd be good enough to get to an Olympics, to be fair. So it's pretty cool.
Extremely proud, but I think I said earlier, it's over to him. You know, I believe I was fortunate to be able to play a small part in his development, but it's over to him. Don't forget the journey that lies ahead as well. You know, he really mustn't get sidetracked by anything, but continuing quietly as he's doing now, and he'll become one of the best goalies in the world.
Oh, I would love to come away and being like, the Olympics is everything people talk about, rather than having bad memories about it. So I think that's the main thing, and then obviously medaling and being successful will have a major part in that.